Hello there, everyone. It's Lilith again, and today we're taking a first look at Far Changing Tides, a new, beautiful game from Frontier and Okomotive that is out now on just about every platform, including the Nintendo Switch. Frontier sent me the game to check out on release day yesterday morning, and since I had some free time and was feeling pretty anxious, I decided to get cozy with some coffee and check it out. A few hours of gameplay later, I knew I had to create this video. If you're new here, welcome. Here on YouTube, I create videos on gaming for mindfulness and post videos, collections, and tips for mindful gamers every week. If that sounds like your kind of thing, subscribe and join our mindful gaming movement. Far Changing Tides is a sequel to Far Lone Sails, which was released in 2018. Both games are set in what feels like a post-apocalypse setting, but unlike Lone Sails, which had players traverse a vast desert, Changing Tides places us in a world of unending water, where we pilot a rustic ship that evolves along with our adventure from simple sailboat to submarine and beyond. Changing Tides is a side-scrolling adventure focused mostly on keeping our ship moving forward, adjusting sails to make the most of the wind, collecting resources for fuel, and solving puzzles to remove obstacles that we come across during our long journey. But in addition to managing and slowly upgrading our ship, we also have the freedom of diving into the sea or climbing to explore some of the many abandoned structures we encounter along the way. Once we get our bearings and learn how to make our way through this mysterious and visually stunning world, what follows is a slow, almost meditative adventure, with a story told not through dialogue or quest markers, but through an immersive setting, dramatic camera angles, and a paced and intricate soundtrack. Changing Tides drops you in a world you can't help but want to get lost in, and lets you control the flow of storytelling, with so much left to interpretation and your own pacing in the game. This is a game that was made for mindfulness. There is a reason it has been described as meditative. What follows is a summary of just some of the features that make this a game mindful gamers will want to check out. The settings in this game, hand-painted, are enough to keep you wanting to move forward through the vast seas. Each new location that you discover feels familiar but lovingly unique, and I found myself pausing my progression often just to take in the sights and small details that are left for us to find. Mindful gamers that want to practice being present and getting lost in this world will find so much beauty and mystery as a reward. The camera naturally shifts as you progress, zooming in and out to let each scene tell an evocative story that pulls in your focus. But the game also gives you control of the camera as you play, allowing you to zoom in and spend a few moments more in a space or a scene, looking for clues of what must have come before, or just taking in the uncanny beauty of a world that seems at first glance to be destroyed, but still holds so much life. There is so much detail to the setting, with stunning water effects and peaking sunlight and gorgeous sea life and structures that feel towering and three-dimensional. While the setting certainly has some darkness to it, with signs of an old destruction and storms and actual dark seas, there is no actual harm or danger in the game, which lends to its fantastical, almost dreamlike feel. You can even launch yourself off tall structures without taking any kind of fall damage, and I recommend taking a moment to soar through the skies. With no dialogue or overt story, much of the storytelling in Changing Tides is told through music and sound effects, which adds a rewarding layer of meditative immersion to the game. Everything from the sounds of our footsteps, to waves, to lightning, to the pat of rain on the tin of our ship adds to the magic of the world that has been built for us, making it come alive as we explore it. The soundtrack is beautiful and tranquil without question, But what makes it unique, I think, is how the music paces with the progression. The game often going all but silent as you puzzle out your next move forward, and the music suddenly returning or peaking as you make progress or solve puzzles. I can imagine returning to this game just to idle for a while, listen, and get lost in the present. Progressing in Changing Tides requires managing your ship, everything from tweaking the position of the sails, to burning resources you find in the world for fuel, to submerging the ship below the sea, and more. To care for your ship and move forward effectively, the game asks you to focus. First, there are no markers or tutorials for how to manage the ship. You learn through trial and error, guided only by the color teal, which serves as an indicator for items you can interact with in the game. To learn and progress in the game, you must immerse yourself in it, carefully investigating your ship and the surroundings, pulling up resources from the depths, and discovering new strategies as you go. So, if you weren't already called to get lost in the world that Changing Tides offers by its artwork and setting, the game almost demands it as you progress, making it a wonderful tool for practicing mindfulness. Puzzles you encounter outside of your ship operate similarly with one important difference. They encourage you to fully explore the world outside of your boat, diving below and climbing above, paying attention to the smallest details, trying out tested and new strategies as you go along. The game does a wonderful job keeping puzzles fresh and challenging despite having only a few primary mechanics, and while I found the puzzles challenging enough to be immersive and beg me into each scene or location, I've yet to encounter one that blocked me long enough to become frustrating. Far, Changing Tides feels like an essential game for mindfulness on the Nintendo Switch and beyond, with its slow, meditative storytelling through setting and sound and gameplay that encourages focus and exploration. It is a game I know I'll continue coming back to, and I'm already hoping to see a continuation of this series in the future. Will you pick up Far Changing Tides? Let me know in the comments below. Liking and commenting on my videos helps more than you know with growing this space and our community of mindful gamers. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and spread some joy around.